If you're looking for everything around the 2023 NFL Draft, look no further than Chat Sports. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications because it's going to be a wild ride here leading up to the 2023 NFL Draft. You're watching NFL Daily. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports, and I got some Day 4 winners and losers. We're going to be looking at the running back and offensive line position on today's video. I know that we put out some other videos from Day 1, Day 2, Day 3. If you missed those, don't worry. I'll tell you how to find those a little bit later on. Let's go, though, to some of these running back winners. Bijan Robinson, and this is the top running back in this year's class. I expected him to perform well, but I also, when I watched the tape on him, he's a running back that it's not going to, jump off the chart. Also, we got the RAS scores in here. If you guys want to check out what these are, essentially, it's a grading system up to 10. 9.81 is what he ended up getting. But for a running back at this size to be able to run the way that he does, the short lateral quickness, to me, Robinson cemented himself as the top back. Let's go to the next player, and probably the dude that most people were the most intrigued to watch. That was Jahmyr Gibbs, the backup running back, or another running back here for Alabama, ran a 4.3640. I will admit the size scares me because the last time that we have seen a running back under 200 pounds since 2017 carry the ball to more than 200 times has been Patrick Lindsay. And he could not really hold up to it. Does he have a lot of speed in open space? No doubt. But Gibbs is a winner to me. Let's go to another running back here. And I was kind of surprised because Chase Brown wasn't really on my radar. I got a lot of my friends, I was going to say fantasy friends, that just sounds weird, were asking me Mitch, who's a sleeper running back that you could potentially look at? I might start telling people it's Brown at 4.43 40-yard dash, but what I really liked was the vertical. Vertical, very, very impressive. The broad jump, both these two best in this year's class. So Chase Brown might have put himself on some people's big boards. And then I'm going to go with Evan Hall here, another running back that when you run a 4.47 at his size, if you're a late day 3 pick and you don't know if you're going to be drafted or not, having the day that Hall did might have actually put him on some NFL teams' radars. So those were our Day 4 NFL Combiner winners at the running back position. And unfortunately, in real life and on this show, you got winners and losers. I'm going to go with Thompson Jr. here from Texas Tech. Was expecting a little bit more from him. When you're a back, you are going to be expected to be able to put up some great numbers from top to bottom, whether that be the 40, whether that be the overall size. And it really just, as you can see here, it was bad. And I don't like to sit there and rip people apart. I know how hard these guys trained to get ready. But at the end of the day, this was a very bad day for him. Tavion Thompson, another back here from Utah. He's a powerful runner. But a lot of times when you look at some of these backs here, you can't get away with just being just straight up power in the NFL when you're not an exceptional athlete, right? I mean, you're running the 4.74 at the running back position. That's not good. You're vertical, not quite as bad as what I have done in the past, but then the 10-yard split, not a lot of burst there. I want a running back that can get going quickly, and unfortunately, that's just not Thomas. Devon Achane, and this is another guy that I think a lot of people, Achane, A lot of people think that he was going to do a lot better than expected, which is why I made him a loser. The 40-yard dash, it's there. He's got that straight lateral speed, 4.3240. Undersized, not great. The vertical, really bad. So when you see a player where on the tape it's straightaway speed, that's great, but we know in the NFL, you need to be able to change directions quickly, and he did not have a great day. And then the final guy here is Deuce Vaughn. I love Deuce Vaughn. I'll tell you that right now. But there are a lot of teams out there that they have just these benchmarks. He's 5'5". That's going to be a benchmark that knocks him a little bit. And luckily, though, I'll say Kansas State does have at least a good track record or a history of having arguably the smallest, most dominant running back for a long time. I know when I think of a running back under 5'6", I'm like, that guy can play the Darren Sproles role. Maybe that's why Vaughn went there. I do think that he can be a good back, but there will be straight-up NFL teams that don't look at him because he's 5'5". So here you go now. Go down to the comments section. Let me know who's the best running back in the 2023 NFL draft class. And we're going to make this the pinned comment. So scroll on down while you're getting hit with that YouTube ad break and let me know. My top running back is still Bijan Robinson. There are some people that think that he is a true top 10 overall prospect. What's going to be intriguing to me to see where he goes is the running back position right now in the NFL is the one spot where teams are okay getting them a little bit later. We've seen teams be able to find really solid running backs in round 2, in round 3, in round 4. I do think Bijan is going to be a first-round pick, but it does make me question where exactly he is going to go. Now, I don't know about y'all, man. One of my favorite holidays is St. Patrick's Day, and I love being able to hang out with my friends, go out and grab a pint, maybe grab 2 or 3. Yeah, and one thing that I love to be able to do is get really cool gear for NFL fans out there, because I don't know about you, I don't have a lot of green in my closet. I really, truly don't. And I'm always trying to rep my team, and usually what ends up happening is 48 hours before St. Patty's Day, I'm like, I got to find something green to wear. Well, how about this? You can rep your favorite team and rep the holiday. Just go to chatsports.com/NFL Green. I will admit, the socks are not available yet. But keep in mind, because these things, they go really, really quick, which is why I wanted to show you them. Because if they come on sale, they're going to go out very quickly. So just keep a tab on this. Chatsports.com/NFL Green. You can also get player shirts as well. Derrick Henry, though, a report came out today that he might not be around with the Titans. So who knows? This might be on sale as well. Bottom line, rep your team during St. Patty's Day. You might even get lucky while you do it. Chatsports.com/NFL Green. So we talked about the running back position. Now let's go to the big guys. And when I look at the offensive linemen, I don't really always look at the 40-yard dashes. I look at more like the 3-cone, the quick lateral, but definitely length. And there was one guy who proved size matters, and that was Broderick Jones, who is just an absolute monster of a man. The wingspan alone is really going to move him up some draft boards. I had him as a first-round prospect, but now when you just look at the overall size of him, the arm length, it's just silly to me. Almost 35. I mean, like, when you see arm length at that type of length, and then he's running the 40-yard dash at 4.97, this is the type of offensive tackle that you want to have on your team, where he can lay out a block, and then when your running back continues to go, he can go another 5-10 yards down the field and really lay into some people. Another clear winner here for me at the offensive line position is Darnell Wright from Tennessee, which, if I'm being honest, it pains me, because Wright was one of these players probably like 2 months ago when I started watching a lot more tape on Hendon Hooker. I was like, man, this is a kid that I like. And after a great day, I'm worried that he's going to go way too early. It's good for him. Bad for my favorite team, though. Either way, the 40-yard dash, it was impressive. The arm length, again, very impressive. When you have that score, green is great, yellow is okay, red is bad. Yeah, the height's not exactly what you're looking for, but in offensive tackles, you're looking at that arm length. Maybe one of my favorite players coming out of North Dakota State, Cody Mauch. And when you see these North Dakota State offensive linemen, right? There was Quinn Miners the year before that, or these like smaller school guys. They got to be weird. Now, I don't know if Cody's out there blocking trees necessarily, but he's just a tough-nosed dude. And anytime you get these smaller schools, FCS schools, the question is, how do they stack up against some of the Division I athletes that you see out there? And he did pretty damn good, man. So the 40, impressive. The shuttle, the 3-cone is where I really want to take your attention, because if I'm going to be looking at a player and you don't necessarily know how he's going to be able to handle that premier speed, let's face it, he didn't face the premier speed that he's going to be facing in the NFL. But when you see the shuttle time, the 3-cone, it's great. And, yeah, Jeremy's going to show this picture up on screen. How do you not root for this guy right here? I mean, this is a dude that I want on my interior line. You show me this picture alone, and that tells me that he's going to be one hell of an offensive lineman. I do think one of the biggest winners from the Combine, because Jones, Wright, they were all going to be locks, and Gaines was going to get drafted as well. But Jon Gaines out of UCLA really increased his draft stock. And, I mean, we got to be able to face the facts. I grew up on the East Coast. A lot of times you don't get to see a lot of these Pac-12 players play. But when you see that score at 9.95, that might have been the most impressive offensive lineman day that we saw at the 2023 Combine. Gaines, he might have gained an entire day in terms of where he gets drafted. And then the last winner here, I'm going to go with Blake Freeland from BYU. Another player that I didn't know exactly what type of day he was going to have. I did like his tape. I thought he was an impressive player, but Blake Freeland to me was a dude that did come away with very impressive numbers. Again, the RAS score at 9.82. What I really want you to look at, though, is the vertical, the broad. For somebody to be this big, to be able to jump that way, it just shows explosion. And then the 40-yard dash time with the height. There's going to be a lot of NFL coaches out there that look at the height, the arm span, and then the burst in his legs. And they're like, this is a young man that we can work around. Now, I will say this. If you haven't already checked out some of our other videos, like I mentioned earlier on today's show, go check out our day one biggest winners and losers. Luckily for you, I have put the day one, day two, and day three. I really encourage you, if you want to look at the quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson put on a hell of a show, but all three of those videos are available for you guys down in the comments, and they're going to also be in the description of today's video. It's time now to go to the losers, and this one sucks. Like, the Combine to me is a really cool experience for players. You know, you can really boost up your stock. Unfortunately for Andrew Forsey here, though, tore an ACL, and it's really, really sucks. But credit to him, he then actually did 38 bench reps with one leg in the air. I mean, he's going to show some strength, but with the ACL, he's going to miss his rookie season, so definitely hurts. Washington offensive lineman Henry Bainivalu, which I always struggle saying his name. I just call him Bain. He did not do well. This one was a rough day for him, unfortunately, and when you're compared to some of these other offensive linemen that we just looked at, you're going to see a lot of red. Yeah, and that's just the way that it goes. The arm length, cool, but the RAS score of 3.35. Shuttle, bad. Three-cone, bad. When I look at an offensive guard, those are usually the spots that I look at, because how quick can you move inside of somebody, you know, as a bull rusher or an edge rusher? That was a rough day there for Henry. Let's go to John Michael Schmitz, and I'll be real. I know Jeremy said, and that's my name too. When I saw this name, I was like, there's no way this is a real name. And unfortunately, I do buy into the world of, if you got a great name, chances are you're going to be a hell of a football player. John Michael Schmitz, it's not a great name. Offensive center here from Minnesota. The shuttle, that's the good. The bad is basically everything else. And again, when you're a fringe player of where exactly you're going to get taken, you need to have a good day. And at the end of the day, Schmitz here, he didn't do it. He was one of the top centers. He dropped down now. And then the final loser here is Jarrett Patterson. One of the biggest things at the Combine is a lot of times people judge helmets, right? So people will knock on C.J. Stroud. When was the last time you found a quarterback out of Ohio State? When I see Notre Dame offensive lineman, I think that's going to be a guy that I want to take. Jarrett Patterson did not look good, and another center that probably really hurt his draft stock overall. The shuttle, the three-cone, the 40-yard dash, none of it was very impressive. The only thing that was good was the size. So does an NFL team think that they can get him quicker? Does an NFL team think that they can get better footwork for him? Because footwork, very, very important for those interior offensive linemen. So now let me know down in the comments, who's the best offensive lineman in the 2023 draft class? My personal opinion, he actually was not a winner, but it's still a guy that I like a lot. It's Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern. People are probably going to put him at a guard because he's got those T-Rex arms. He's, in my personal opinion, the best offensive lineman in this year's class. All right, y'all, before we wrap up today's show, if you haven't already, again, subscribe. Make sure you're tuned in for a lot, and I mean a lot, of 2023 NFL draft coverage.